Hello everyone and welcome to CAD CAM-CE tutorials. This is the fourth part in the series of numerical simulation of 2D steady-state heat conduction problem. In the first video, we have derived the partial differential equation to govern the 2D steady-state heat conduction. In the second video, we have discretized the domain and we have converted the partial differential equation into algebraic equation. And in the third video, we have used those algebraic equations and we have developed a MATLAB script to solve the temperature distribution inside a 2D domain. You can find all the three videos by clicking on the I button. Now this is the fourth video, and in this video we are going to simulate the same problem using ANSYS Fluent, and we'll try to validate the results from our MATLAB code with the ANSYS Fluent results. So here on the screen you can see the same MATLAB script right now. And let's run it. Once the solution is obtained, you can see the results that is in the contour form for the 2D steady state heat conduction. And let's again revise the problem. So here the domain is of length 1 meter by 1 meter. We have divided the entire domain into 51 parts. Now from here you can see that initially the temperature of entire domain is 25 degree and left wall is maintained at a higher temperature of 120 degree, while all the other three sides are maintained at a lower temperature of 40 degrees centigrade. So now we'll move to the ANSYS Fluent and we'll try to validate the results. So let's begin it. So let us first close it, and now we'll move to the ANSYS Fluent. So first we'll go to the workbench, and from here we'll drag the fluid flow fluent into the project schematic. Now first we have to create the geometry, and for that we'll right click on the geometry and select here design modeler. In the design modeler, first we have to select the plane on which we want to create the geometry. So we'll create the geometry on XY plane. So from here project tree, we can right click on the XY plane and select here look at. Now we have to create a new sketch, so we'll select here create a new sketch. Now we'll go for the sketching and select here rectangle. Now we can create a rectangle by using here this left button in the project schematic. Once the rectangle is drawn, we have to apply the dimensions, and for that we'll select here dimensions and select here general. Now select here this vertical line and this horizontal line. Now from here we can specify the dimensions of vertical and horizontal lines. So both the lines are of 1 meter, so we'll enter here 1 meter. Now after creating this domain, we have to convert it into a surface, and for that we'll go for the modeling. Select here this sketch. Now we'll go for the concept and select here surfaces from the sketches. So it will create a 2D domain, and in third direction the thickness will be 0. So select here surfaces from the sketches. Select here apply. In operation we'll select here add material as a frozen and just click on this generate button. So once you click on this generate button, you can see here that one body is generated, that is surface body, that indeed a 2D surface. So this is all about the generation of geometry. So now we can close it, the design modeler. So this is the first step in any simulation, that we have to first create the geometry, and the second step is creating the mesh. So we'll double click on the mesh. So now once the meshing window is open, we can generate the mesh using this window. So we can just right click on the mesh and we can select here generate mesh. So here according to the domain it will generate automatically mesh. So for sake of simplicity we'll not change this mesh. Now we'll give it name to the different parts of the domain. So we'll select here first here the edge, then we'll select here this left side, right click and select here create name selection. Now here this is the left side of the domain, so we'll name it as a left side and click on OK. In the similar fashion we'll select here this top, right click, select here create name section, and let us say top side. For this let us say the right side, and for this one we'll select here the bottom side, and OK. After creating names for all the four sides, we'll give name to the central portion or to the entire body. And for that we'll select here this body, select here entire domain, right click, select here create name selection, and we'll select here the entire domain, or let us say 2D body, and OK. So here in this section we have to create the mesh and we have to give it name to all the section, and you can check it by clicking the names one by one. So now we'll close it and we'll right click and click on the update. So the generation of mesh is nothing but discretization of domain that we have covered in our second video. Now after creating geometry and mesh, we have to solve the setup, and for that first we need to create the setup. So we'll double click on the setup. Now here we'll select double precision and we'll select parallel processing. Now I will use here 6 cores and click on OK. So here you can see the Fluent window for the same problem, and from here we can set up our problem. So here we want to solve it as a steady state conduction, and we don't want to include the gravity because here our domain is solid domain. Now from the modes we'll select here energy because we want to solve the energy equation inside our domain. So double click on the energy, check here and click on OK. So these are the different sets of governing equations that are solved during the problem solution, and here in our case our domain is solid domain, so we don't have to solve for the momentum equation. So the only equation that we need to solve is energy equation. Now we'll define the materials. So here by default the material is aluminum, and also in the first video we have seen that the final differential equation that we came up with, that is independent of the material, so it doesn't depend on any material property. Now we'll go for the cell zone conditions where we will define the domain. So we'll select here cell zone condition, and from here first we need to select here whether the domain is solid or fluid. So from here we'll select the domain as a solid, and from here the material assigned is aluminum and click on OK. Now we'll go for the boundary conditions, so double click on the boundary conditions. Now from here the left side is of 120 degrees centigrade, so double click on this left side. Now we have to go for the thermal boundary condition, and in our case it is of constant temperature, so we'll select here temperature, and here we need to convert into Kelvin, so that is nothing but 393.15 and click on OK. For other three sides we need to specify the temperature as 313.15. OK. Now after specifying all the temperatures, we'll double click on this interior solid and OK. So after specifying all the temperatures, we'll go for the reference values, and in the reference values we'll select here compute from entire solid body, and here the reference zone will also be the entire body. Now we'll go for the methods and we'll select here as it is. Now we'll go for the initialization where we'll initialize the problem. So right now we'll initialize with the hybrid initialization, so we'll just click on initialize. Now once the problem is initialized, we can double click on the run calculation. Now here we'll give number of iteration as 200 and reporting interval as 1, so that it will report the residual value for each and every iteration. And now we can click on calculate. So here you can see that the calculation is completed, so we'll click on OK. Now we'll close it, the setup window. OK. Now we'll go for the results to analyze the result. So we'll double click on the results. Now here we'll select here the z-axis. Now first we'll plot the contour to see the results in entire domain. So we'll select here the contour and we'll name it as a temperature contour. Okay. Now from here we'll select the domain, that is our 2D body, and here the location is entire domain, and for that we'll select here the symmetry 1 or 2. From here we can select the variable, in our case that is the temperature, and here the rank of contour, let us say 100, and click on apply. So from here you can see the results of the simulation, and from here you can see the values of the results. Now in order to compare the results at each and every point, we can plot the result at any of the line. So first we need to create one horizontal line that is passing through the domain, and for that first we'll create one line using the location. Select here the line, we'll give it name as a mid horizontal and click on OK. Now we know that when we have started the designing or when we have created this geometry, our domain is of 1000 mm by 1000 mm, and the origin of domain was at left bottom corner. So if we want to create a line, a horizontal line that is exactly in between the domain, then the first point of line is at 0500 mm and second point is at 1500 mm. Now here we are dealing with unit of meter, so the first point will be x coordinate is 0, y coordinate is 0.5, and for the second point, as we are dealing with 2D domain, the z coordinate is 0. For this end point, the x coordinate is 1, that is 1000 mm, the y coordinate is same as 0.5, that is 500 mm, and z coordinate is 0. Now here we have seen that in our MATLAB script we have used the 51 number of grids. So here for sample we will specify the same number of grids or sample, that is 51, and we'll click on OK. Now here we'll close this temperature contour so that we can see the line that we have created earlier. Now once this line is created, we can check the result along this line. So we can set any variable along this line and we can plot a curve. To plot that curve we'll go for the chart. So you can select here chart and you can give it any name. Let us say temperature at mid height. Okay. Now here you can give it here the title, any of the title that you want. So let us give the same title as temperature at mid height. In the data series you can specify here the location. So as we have drawn a horizontal line, so we'll select that line, that is mid horizontal. On x-axis of the plot we'll select here chart curve. So as we have divided the entire line into 51 points, so it will tell us from first point to 51 point. For the y-axis we have to select the variable that we want to plot. So in our case it is the temperature. After specifying all these things, we can just click on apply and you can see the plot of the temperature. So on the y-axis there is a temperature that is varying from 40 degree, that is minimum temperature inside the domain, up to 120 degree, that is maximum temperature in domain. And on the horizontal line you can see here that it is varying from 1 to 51. So this is all about how to represent the results in 2D plot. Now you can export the same result in CSV file. So we can just right click on this export button, select here the desktop and you can give it name. So let us give it name as a temperature ANSYS and we'll save it. So once we have saved the result from the ANSYS, we'll go to the MATLAB script and we can see here the results, that the temperature that we have solved using the MATLAB script. So from here also we can double click on this temperature. Now from here we can see that to get the same result, we have divided the entire domain into 51 by 51 grid. So to get the middle horizontal grid, we have to go for 26, that is exactly middle. You can click the shift, control and bottom button, and we can just control C. Now after copying all these things, we can go for the Excel. Now on the Excel, first here we'll paste all the variables that we have copied from the MATLAB script, and here this is the CSV file that we have exported from the ANSYS. So first we'll open it, and from this we'll copy all the temperature values and we'll paste it over here. Now this is from the MATLAB and this is from the ANSYS. So after getting results from the MATLAB as well as ANSYS, so here we'll name it as error. So we'll plot another column with the name error, and in that we'll make difference between both the result, that is the MATLAB result minus ANSYS result, and click on the enter button. Now here we'll drag it for the entire range, that is for all the 51 points. Now after plotting, what we can do is we can find percentage error. So here this error is of absolute error, and now we'll find the percentage error. And to find out percentage error, we'll consider ANSYS results as accurate result. So to find here this percentage error, we'll create one formula, that is equal to, and in bracket we'll select here first absolute. Now here we'll take difference of both the result, that is MATLAB result minus of ANSYS result, and absolute value of that, and divided by the result from ANSYS. And now we'll multiply the entire formula by 100. So here we'll give it bracket and we'll multiply it by 100 and click on enter. Now we'll drag it for all the 51 cells. Now here this is the percentage error that we got between the results of ANSYS as well as the MATLAB script, and here we'll get the maximum of all this, so equal to and maximum, and here we'll select all the 51 cells. And click on enter. So from here we can see that the maximum error that we got is 0.212%. So we can see that the results that we got from the MATLAB as well as ANSYS are very close. So this is all about validating the results with the ANSYS Fluent result. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, then please hit on the like button, share it and subscribe to this channel, CAD CAM CE Tutorials. Thanks.